On guys, welcome to the altcoin update. As promised, I did mention I'll get back on all of these altcoins today. So first of all, this is going to be a long video, probably like an hour or so, just because we have a decent amount of requests on this post. So we're going to start off with Shez. This is where we last off on Based AI, VRA, Naka, Normie, also index tools. So again, I appreciate you guys mentioning, where to find it. Ravi, you have quite some coins. GFAL, LIT, RBN, WIF, Nexus, LCX, etc. I'm going to go through all these. Um, I assume most of these are on TradingView. If not, I'll check on DEX tools. If I can't find it, I'll just skip it. But we have Flame, CRE, and GAU. So I'm going to put timestamps in the description below, guys. If you just want to skip straight to your coin, you can just click on that timestamp and it'll take you straight to the coin that you're interested in, it'll just be easier for you guys to to locate. So Chez, we're going to start off with based AI on DEX tools. I have DEX tools open right here. So we're going to do based AI against so there's two. We're going to stick with the one with the higher liquidity, which is the first one up here. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'll try and make this bigger. Perfect. I don't really care about that information below. Perfect. Okay, let's see what we're working with on the daily. Nice, really nice pump, making a lower low. So on a macro scale, we can see this that it's in distribution right now, right? That's why we like to look at the macro scale first. Let's look at the daily. I'm not sure if we can really point anything out on the daily. Yeah, really, I mean on the weekly, really nothing we can point on the weekly. So let's stick with the daily. I'm going to adjust this because I don't like the appearance of this. Sorry guys, let me just make this white just so it's easier for the eye. Um, let's make the opacity 100. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, perfect. Um, yeah, so this is, let's make this black, black. Perfect. So now you can see the numbers on the side much more clearly. Awesome. So this is what we're working with. Again, I don't really care about volume. We don't need indicators. So starting from a macro perspective, we see that it pumps significantly. Just to get a gist of, what we're working with, let's, figure out how much this coin pumped since February, which is not too long ago, 1500%. Okay. So there's a really big run up. I mean, all the AI coins were moving up around the same time. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to start off with marking our macro downtrends. So it made a lower low, I made a lower high, which is right at this point. We're going to make this red because it's on the daily. So now we know, in the future, this daily downtrend is going to act as suppression. And it's quite strong. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take a good amount of momentum to break out of this, considering that it just pumped 1500%, right? The interest and demand, after something pumps 1500%, the interest and demand isn't there as it used to be when it was back down in accumulation. So I see this coin continuing, to be in distribution. So, I mean, I'll mark this last red candle before this uptrend, which happens to be the origin level here, which makes it tested. Okay. So, in my opinion, right, with Bitcoin, if we go back to Bitcoin, which we should have TA'd Bitcoin first, which I have it updated here, if Bitcoin breaks out of this apex over here, we can probably see apex move up out of this daily, right? If Bitcoin just suddenly breaks out of this new all-time high and goes into price discovery, then for sure, based AI coin will also go into price discovery as well, right? But the second, if Bitcoin does fail if Bitcoin fails to break above this daily downtrend and breaks below this uptrend, base AI is most likely going to find itself around back in this range. Okay, so when base AI, let's just say, gets back in this range, right? It's very critical that this daily origin level holds. Okay, if it doesn't hold, right? If this fails to hold and Bitcoin, falls again, then base AI is most likely going to fall within this range here. So again, very important, um, dependent on Bitcoin. So as of right now, guys, I should have TA'd Bitcoin first, just so we can have a nice grasp on, where it's going, considering that we're just TAing all altcoins. So Bitcoin right now, it's holding against this daily uptrend. We have this very local 4-hour uptrend that's being respected. So a good amount of support here for Bitcoin to hold. Um, and it's laddering, okay? It's testing a 1-hour level here. Let's go to the 1 hour. So it's testing a 1-hour resistance here. This is now tested, right? So let's make that dotted. So as long as Bitcoin can maintain this laddering, this ladder up against this apex, all points to good signs. All points to a bullish move. Okay, so um, let's be aware that it can also break down below these uptrends. We do have a lot of supports, but in a case where it does, it's going to be a very volatile fall, which ultimately wouldn't be good for coins like these that pump 1500% or whatever percent, because those drops will also be pretty significant as well. So again, back to my point, based AI, you know, in summary, if it may find itself back in this range if Bitcoin falls. If that's the case, you really want this daily origin level to hold. If that fails to hold, it's going back to this range. So, this is a nice solid untested level on the daily level. You can just mark your accumulation zone, your areas. This is going to be dotted, right? Um, that should be back there. And yeah, I mean, this over here. Okay, this is actually tested, right? So it goes up, it, it uses this as support and it moves up. Okay, so that's going to be a tested daily support. And then you'll see this nice gap, right? This is the gap I'm talking about, that if it breaks here, it's most likely going to fall and fill this gap, right? Down to this accumulation zone where, it's an untested level. So in a case where it does fall down here, this is a great point of accumulation for anyone that's interested. Um, because the same trend that brings it up will most likely be the same trend that brings it down. And when that happens, hey, look, it just so happens to be some untested levels there. So great level of interest. Wouldn't it's important to have buys at points like these. May seem far-fetched from $9, back down to $3, $4, but it's crypto, guys. You never know what's gonna happen. So, yeah, that's the daily um, TA that we're looking at. Let's go to the 4 hour just really quick because Shez, you only did one coin, so I'm gonna go in a bit more detail here. So we go into the 4 hour range. Okay, so we have this daily here. It's still being respected. We can move this and change this so the visibility only shows on the daily. Perfect. We'll keep these because these are still being respected on the 4 hour time frame. So, I mean, if anyone's interested in this coin, guys, I hope just follow my TA. And if I'm missing anything, just let me know in the comments down below. And, just something, I might have missed. Okay, perfect. So there's that first 4 hour downtrend that was respected numerous times. Eventually broke out at apex. Looks like it just ended up testing that swing high here of the low, right? That last green candle before this local downtrend. Even up here, guys. Oh, no, no, it didn't just yet. So we'll keep that solid. Let's make this blue because we're on the 4 hour. So yeah, this is the resistance range. Actually, this looks like we could actually point it back to this origin level here. Um, okay, so that's the 4 hour. So we're gonna move this and then evolve it. Okay, so now that apex happened, we're looking at the next apex. Um, Here, there's this long wick. Looks like it tested that 4 hour here, so there's that reverse bottom peak, right? The last, not entirely the last red candle before the uptrend, but it's more so the last bottom peak, which again, guys, not really a fan. I usually use these as a first point of leverage when I do, but you can sort of see it like it's like a, hold on, let me visually draw it out for you guys because I don't know if here we go. So these are bottom peaks. The bottom peaks are like the last trend line down before the uptrend, right? And that's what it's holding. So yeah. So 4 hour range here. So yeah, still being respected. We have the 4 hour range against this daily. The daily still being respected on the 4 hour time frame as well. So if you're looking at a smaller time frame, again, holding this daily is really important. If that breaks, you have this daily origin. But ultimately, if that daily origin breaks, right, you have this large gap down here. Yes, we have a 4 hour, and these are all. This is a tested level. I don't really if it's breaking below a daily, I don't really see a 4 hour really holding, and that's just in a very rare case where they do. Sometimes a 1 hour holds when a daily drops, but ultimately I would consider having buys here just in case. So yeah, that is based AI. Um, Next is the VRA, Naka, and Normie. Okay, so VRA. Well, do KuCoin because KuCoin, I know KuCoin, so just sticking with the top exchanges. So nice. So VRA looks like there's a decent amount of information here. So perfect. Okay, great. So okay, looks like it just pumped. Probably again looks like a daily here based off that really long wick, but overall it's it's back to where it's at. So um, again, guys, when you see coins like these that's been in accumulation for quite some time, you're going to see some very, very volatile moves, these sudden spikes up. And if that happens, guys, please take profits. At least take the profit portion out and remove your investment, or remove your investment, keep the profits on, and maybe hope to keep writing it out. But as you can see, it made 200%, and it ended up dropping, from this high, right, to down here, 56%, right? Like let's, you know, all those gains that you could have, made and just took out is all gone now, right? So very important you guys take profits, especially in coins like these where, they've been in accumulation for so long and there's just a one sudden spike. When you see that, guys, just get out. So yeah, and then you just recycle it into another coin, wait till everything dies down, and then you re-enter in times like these. Okay, that's how you really double your money and triple your money sometimes 4 times in a month, honestly, in crypto, like in times like these. So starting with the weekly, make these purple. Okay, still speaking, it's still an uptrend, guys, on the weekly time frame. Not bad. I'm not going to mark a downtrend here, right? Because again, we went over this numerous times. If you're not going to mark a downtrend from here, actually, this may be respected, right? So what I meant was that, like, if let's say VRA is like in here, I wouldn't even bother marking it, all the way, right? It's gonna pump. You would just mark the downtrend on a much more local level. But at this point, because there has been multiple weeks of information after that pump, it allows us to create a macro apex, which isn't happening. It looks like until June, May, June. Okay, so again, Q2. A lot of these coins are aiming for quarter two. Um, so those are pretty much all the levels we need to mark on the weekly. We have this daily origin, weekly origin here. So again, if you're giving me these coin, guys, um, I assume you're also TAing these as well. So just following my lead, adding any levels that you may want to add that I may have missed, please do. Um, Last green candle before this uptrend. Let's make this solid because this hasn't been tested on the upside yet. None. If you want, guys, you can do the week. You can do the wick. It's really up to you if you want to be more conservative, be more greedy by pushing it up here. But regardless, both of these levels are untested on the weekly time frame. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the weekly. Let's go to the daily and dissect it a bit more. And perfect. So like I mentioned, it was probably hitting a daily, and this is probably the daily that it was aiming for. You have that. Let's make this red, make this dotted. Oops, make this dotted. Yep. So you see that red wick? That's a test, right? Even here, it was a test. And perfect. That's where it is, guys. Can't make this stuff up. Um, Okay, so we have this weekly here. I think we can. I think we're good making a daily here. And 1 second, I'm gonna evolve it from there to there. Perfect. Just something. I'm doing this because I want something more local, okay, for you guys. Because most likely you guys are gonna be looking for entry soon, right? So last red candle before the uptrend literally sends off, but I'll consider that tested over there. That's the origin level of this structure here, right? So right now it's an accumulation, all right? It's an accumulation, okay? So if you're a big fan of VRA, right? Let's say you sold within this daily region. Let's say you laddered them up all the way up to here. You sold your whole bag. It's in distribution. It's back where it's at now, and you can actually re-enter to write up another wave up. It's up to you guys. That's just the best thing about crypto is that things happen so quick. You recycle your profits into coins that go back into accumulation after pump 200%, and it's just freaking awesome. So, um, it's an accumulation, period. Okay, it's an accumulation. It's probably going to find accumulation up until, you're going to have maybe these small pumps out of these daily apexes, but ultimately this is that weekly apex that we're looking at. Okay, so that's VRA. Naka. Nakamoto Games. Stick with the KuCoin. And I'm trying to go a little bit slower here for you guys too, because if you're following along, making your TA as well, um, just want to make sure you guys have enough time to follow. Look at this, man. This is insane. 2 years. 2 years of accumulation. That's crazy. Um, I just want to see, from this lowest point. Oh my God, 6,000%. Insane. Okay. Yeah. Even here you can see that was the nice, perfect breakout, guys. It's just can you, if I move it up here, is it better? Yeah, it is actually. Technically, that's the peak, that's the high. So that's the breakout of the apex. There's that perfect rejection. Yeah, this is the apex. So insane how perfect and accurate this is. This literally told you the future from November of 2023 out of that apex into February. Crazy stuff, guys. TA doesn't lie. Next is this apex here. Again, the when you have pumps like these guys, it just extends accumulation unless Bitcoin it just goes parabolic, then it's just gonna break out. But yeah, so right now this is the weekly. Let me zoom in here because I want to make sure this is accurate. Um, Make sure the magnet tool's on. Good. That's that weekly there. Okay, I'm just looking out for something that the more local levels. I could just go straight to the weekly, but I always find myself having to go back to the basics, right? Okay, perfect. So that's the weekly uptrend there. Okay, so you see how everything is arraying out from each other, okay? Perfect retest here against this origin weekly support, right? Beautiful. Okay. So nice. Weekly, we just marked out everything on the weekly time frame. Let's see, the weekly apex points until August, but let's see if there's also one in June. Okay, so Again, these are weekly candles, guys. This is a lot of time to create one candle. So let's go to the daily time frame and see what we're working with. Perfect. Weekly is also being respected on the daily. Awesome. Love to see that. Just less work. um, let's make that red because we are on the daily now. So tests on the weekly. I mean, we can mark our daily. I'll mark these daily levels for you, but I don't think there's really a point. I think it's just going to respect the uptrend because this weekly already tested this weekly. So, all these are tested. I already know, like, yeah, these are all tested daily levels. There's really no point, but I'll just mark them up for you guys. Because if it's testing a weekly and it's through the dailies, right? We want to stick with the time frame that has that's the higher time frame because it's you can think of it as stronger and it just has more meaning to it. Um, So I think this daily is just a temporary support, but ultimately, what's really going to hold this bullish structure is the weekly uptrend, and then the second that loses it, it's you have some. Let me see if you have any origin levels here. Weekly, I mean the daily origin levels. Let's make this a little bit thicker so we can see it. So that's the last red candle before this uptrend, and it just continues to test it. Let's make that too. All right. Yeah, I mean, if it breaks below this weekly, you have the structure here to support the move as well in the daily, maybe a small bounce, but look how many times it's been tested in the past. Um, the interest again is not as high as it was back here because this interest zone is what brought it up here. So I don't think this structure here again will hold to bring it back up to new highs if it breaks below the weekly. I mean, that's if it breaks below this weekly uptrend. So yeah, I mean, if that weekly breaks, remember, just going to the next respective time frame, and then the next weekly is right here. So, um, yeah, really important that this weekly holds, this weekly range area holds, but this apex isn't until the end of April, so a little bit different, not Q2 of June. So, um, Normie's on Dex Tools, okay? Sorry, Shez, I'm gonna have to move your based AI. Look at this little character on it. That's so funny. Daily time frame. Okay, looks brand new. Uh, let's see. March? What? March? March 11. Wow, it's only been a month and it's pumped 13,000%. Holy man. Am I reading that right? 13,000? Hold on. Am I going crazy? I mean, I guess it just depends where. Let's start from here. Let's start from the last red candle before the uptrend, and let's start it from this high here. Let's make sure the magnet tool is on, right? It's at 13,000. That's insane. Oh man. So and it retraced a ton. Um, is the magnet tool on? There you go. Perfect. Still being respected by that daily. Let's make this red. Oh man, I hate how this thing goes back to. Okay, perfect. Daily, it's being respected. Very, very volatile drop down. As again here, right? It's a perfect example just I was talking about. Here's this daily origin level, right? The amount of times it's been tested so many times. This is a support that brought it into price discovery twice. Okay, so if it falls back down to that same level, that interest just isn't there psychologically. Okay, just think about it. You're trading against humans, all right? And even if you're trading against bots, right? Those bots are created by humans to target certain levels, based on a psychological level. And these are the same levels that brought it up into price discovery twice. I don't think that interest, is there again to bring it up into price discovery once again. There has to be a new area of accumulation, new interest and demand that hasn't been touched, and that's where your untested levels come into play. Okay, and that's why you see this breaking right now. All right, so remember, you guys, you have to think of it It's very simple. You have to think of it in a more of a psychological way. Once you do that, it just opens your eyes because then you become less dependent on indicators that are just averages, mathematically averages. They're just useless. But here you have trend lines that help you predict the future. As you can see, they have not failed. I mean, we dumped so many coins and success that we've seen TA has shown. And yeah, right now, even this is tested. So the green candle, if you know how green candles start, right? It's a green candle. It tested this support. It helped it move up to go into new highs into price discovery. So here you're working with this daily range. For you, I will go to the 4 hour because there may be some 4 hour. And I don't think, yeah, I don't think that's holding. Like last red candle before this uptrend, right? Yeah, it's holding, but um, it's very reliant. I mean, Bitcoin drops even more the slightest it's going on the daily. So yes, it's an accumulation zone. Yes, it's considered a buy entry. Hence, there's a reason why there's a wick here, right? People were interested in buying in that area because it's a support, it's accumulation area. But it's a 4 hour area, and but you're inside a daily range. That's just something to consider. So it's not wrong that you buy here, but this is where strategizing your entries is so important, right? So you can ladder your buys up to this 4 hour down here to this daily. But ultimately, if that daily breaks, then you can kind of say goodbye, right? Because there's this empty blank space there for normie. Okay, so thank you for those coins, guys. Ravi, you have a lot of coins. I don't think I'm going to the 4 hour time frame for all of these because I, have to be considerate for everyone else. We still have to go over Flame, CRE, and GAU. But I really, really appreciate looking at all these coins and providing all these coins. So let's start. GFAL. Let's go on Mexi, and we're gonna start. Okay, wait. Let's see. I think it's gonna be too short. All right, actually not too bad. So, um, games for a living, GFAL. All right. And again, guys, you can kind of hope you're getting the gist of how I'm TAing these, right, on a macro time frame. It's super important that you guys understand this, so you guys can do it on your own. And if you have any questions, you can just relay them to me, right? And I know it can get a little bit more complicated when you dive into the smaller time frames, hence why, it's pretty quick when I TA these on the weekly and the daily, and then you'll see, I mean, as you see, it takes a little bit longer when I go into the smaller time frames, but the theory stays the same, guys, all right? So I'm arraying these weekly uptrends, beautiful, respected uptrend here on the weekly time frame, and here's daily, a beautiful respected downtrend, local breakout, you know, tests that weekly range here. Probably a daily based off that long wick, but we're going to do here. We're just going to move it to extend it there now. All right. And now you have the new apex on the weekly time frame in May. All right. So let's go to daily and let's dissect this a bit more. Okay. Not really liking how. Let's see how this daily respects if I mark it on the daily. Okay. So this is the daily, right? We evolve it there, and then evolve it there. Okay, perfect. So that's the daily of the weekly. Very, very close, but I just want to see it. Um, and this is what I like to do is that when you have something like this, I consider this like an accumulation range in my opinion. So when you have something that's been in accumulation for this long, but it's conflict, it's in between, a weekly uptrend and a daily uptrend, as you can see here. Um, I consider this just a uptrend, accumulation zone and uptrend, right? So, and just like how you see with those supports where I mark the swing high and the low of the candle, and you have two lines, and then you have that area in the middle, that's the accumulation zone. There's also accumulation zones in uptrends, and you can see here, hence the long, big wicks that fall majority, like 95% inside this area, because this is an accumulation zone area inside of an uptrend, okay? So you can ladder your buys anywhere inside this range, okay? And again, that's why you see all these wicks. Um, do we have any daily levels that we can mark here? This looks like it's untested on the daily time frame, so we'll start off there, starting from left to right. Um, starting from left to right, right? Last red candle before this local uptrend. You see this multiple test that struggles to break out. Acts as support, but unfortunately it's hard closing in the body of this green candle. Let's delete that, but at least we know that's what happened around in this zone. Um, okay, let's see if you mark any downtrends. No need to mark any daily downtrends. This weekly is still being respected even on the daily, so we don't want to clutter our chart too much. All right, so because again, you can mark your daily downtrend here. It's just so close to that weekly. Um, well, let's see. Yeah, it is really, no point. You can array them for you guys, but I just feel like it just clutters your chart. Sometimes it gets a little just too distracting and can lead you to the wrong point. But again, these are not wrong. You have an apex here, an apex there, but ultimately you have the weekly apex in May. All right, so in my opinion, when you see these type of downtrends inside a much larger apex, they're kind of just small moves, kind of like we're seeing with XRP. And I mentioned numerous times where, yeah, we have apex, but I don't see any big movement. I think you're just waiting, for something much bigger as it, leads up to the bigger apex on the bigger time frame. Um, Here's that daily resistance that's acting as resistance. Okay, so now you're working within daily ranges, right, and a weekly range here. So very good to see multiple tests against this resistance. So as it continues to move up this ladder, if it does go up back in this range, there's a very high chance of it breaking because again, the interest and the demand just isn't there as much anymore. As you can see, even these wicks get smaller and smaller in height because the interest just dies down, guys, right? There's only a certain amount of people that can continue selling at that point, right? If you just keep selling at one point, that's everyone will be a millionaire, right? It dies down. You wait for accumulation. It now comes the new area of interest where people want to sell, whether it be at these daily downtrends or even at this weekly. Um, Perfect. That's the daily origin level. So okay. So far from ever reaching this point for now, but we'll see uh, how this um, reacts. Okay, lit. Litcoin. I think the lit is on Binance still, right? Yeah. I remember lit being on Binance. Oh, I guess not. We'll do Mexi. Nice. Holy cow. 1600%, guys. Insane. All right. So starting off with the weekly, guys. Let's stick to the weekly. So again, just just want to instill this in your brain, guys. And if you see three weekly candles like this, I feel like it's just such common sense to just sell, right? So, in my opinion, I personally probably would have sold a good majority of that bag after 500%. You know, you have the much more greedy people that can go up here, then the final people that go up to 1400%. You know, it's just crazy. So, and as you can see, it's retracing slowly, right? It's retracing pretty slow, and these are the people that are like holding on to dear life, hoping that it goes back, to 5 cents, right? Because they missed out on selling at 5 cents, and now it's and now it's breaking down back to 1 cent. So it's like they're slow dying, just slowly people just distributing because these are just honestly people that just didn't sell and they're just taking the L, or, if they maybe they bought down here and they're just selling for profits last minute, and that's why you see this large, green candle, right? That large trigger point. Um, it just again, yeah, you just have to think of it psychologically. I wouldn't, overthink it too much, right? This is on the weekly. Not much to tea on the weekly here. Honestly, I think that weekly could be updated to the daily. Let's just move it to the daily. Um, maybe I should have some music in the background. I don't know. While I do these videos, I feel like it's just so quiet. All right. So the first thing I see here, guys, it's making lower highs and it's also making lower lows. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna start from this left point and then evolve this point here, right? We're gonna evolve it, evolve it, and then evolve it here. Okay, and this is what you don't want to see, right? This is what you don't want to see, guys. These are all untested. Again, you can mark the the bodies, the wicks, whatever. Um, okay, perfect. Yeah. So this was that. Looks like that wick was that tested range that's working with. So yeah, this is what you don't want to see because now you have this wedge looking triangle thing. It's pointing downwards, it's not pointing upwards like you see with with Bitcoin, right? We see with Bitcoin it's pointing upwards. Shoot, what was that coin again? Lit. It's pointing downwards, and that's what you don't want to see, because you kind of just want to wait until it moves sideways to confirm the bleeding has stopped. So if we just array this from here, like even here, this apex predicted that move up. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what you really want to see, honestly, is like if you just want to see, hopefully it goes down to this tested range, you want to see bleed outside to the side, and that's what confirms the bleeding has stopped. All right. Um, so this requires patience, in my opinion. All right. So that's lit. RBN USD. Oh, nice. It's on Coinbase. Looks like we did TA this already on weekly time frame. A lot of weekly time frames. This was the range that broke out. Rips right through this as well, and goes straight to this tested weekly there. It looks like, yeah, so it looks like we already TA'd this already, guys. Man, move it there, right? You could, again, the body or the wick. Again, I mentioned, guys, I love doing the bodies of the candles, and it's, especially on the weekly for this reason here, right? Um, So we can actually delete some of these levels. I'm pretty sure these levels also get respected on, maybe the daily time frame. I'm just really curious. No, it doesn't. This does though. Look at that insane, nice rejection wick moves out. But again, these are the things that we can just end up deleting now. Let's go back to the weekly and see if we're missing anything before we move on to the smaller time frames. No? Okay. Same trend that brings it down and same trend that bring it up. All right. So, uh, yeah, man, Ravi, you're riding on a lot of coins that moved up. You're probably a freaking millionaire right now. Oh man. So, yeah, so we're going on the daily. Nice. It's retesting the same weekly, right? Unfortunately, it is making a lower high, but no worries. It's being respected on the daily time frame. Um, all right. Right. Okay. You guys can even, again, like we did the bottom peaks. So the last downtrend before this would be considered a support. Um, so yeah, it looks like honestly it may just end up just falling, right? And on the daily time frame, there's just, you know, open space. It's probably holding a 4 hour inside that structure, and then, what if it loses that 4 hour, it's probably gonna, yeah, it's holding a 4 hour in this range. So you got there. I know it looks a little bit sloppy. Just bear with me. Okay. So that's like the 4 hour range it's inside of, and if it loses that, it's just, in my opinion, you're gonna go straight down. Here, you got the 4 hour there, but yeah, let's go back on the daily. You see the daily is just that uptrend there, right? Same trend that brings it up, same trend that brings it down. So if a second I lose that 4 hour, it's going back down here. And then if it loses this daily here, right? It's going back down there, but luckily there's an untested level support there, so very high chance of that, of supporting the move. RBN, let's go over with, okay, Binance, okay, did that, right, on the daily time frame, cool, all right, origin level, hard closes, unfortunately that's not it. See, that's a tested daily there, actually, yeah, that's a tested daily level there. Let's go to the 4 hour. This is the case where you might go on the 4 hour because it's just so brand new, guys. I just want to make sure we're teeing it right. Nice, okay. Perfect. So the 4 hour, the daily levels are also being respected on the 4 hour, so that's really good to see because we don't want to clutter our chart too much. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, guys. On the daily time, on the 4 hour time frame, this is the accumulation range right here. Looking to break out of that 4 hour apex. Um, you have a daily uptrend here. Again, with the coins that are new like these, they're just so easy to TA. You just have to kind of expect the worst and, also see the best in these coins because these things can happen super quick. And, there's not much activity you can work with, so that's where trend lines just become your best friend. Things like apexes, where, we may see a local breakout, you have accumulation in this zone, and this uptrend is going to be supporting the move. But yeah, ultimately this is pretty straightforward, guys. It's an accumulation. If you want to get into it, you get into it, and you're just gonna play out of that apex. Resistance is up here. Um, yeah, so trying to see 4 hour origin level. Ultimately, swing high, beautiful, so that's a swing high below that before that downtrend. So this is ultimately the range you wanted to, this 4 hours you want to break out of because if it's able to break out of this 4 hour resistance, it's probably going to go most likely target after this 4 hour range first, a second after it breaks out of there. Again, ultimately, you just want to make sure that this daily uptrend holds because again, this is a brand new coin and this is what's literally the only thing that's holding this bullish structure up. Okay, so. Yep. Nexus. Nexus USD. Looks like CXU exchange. Um, yeah. Hopefully this is it. Yeah, really not much I can work with here on the 1 hour. Looks like it's brand new. Um, just let me make sure it's not on here. Yeah, looks like it's yeah, we'll stick on trading view for now. Okay. So here's the 4 hour. You see it's holding an imaginary 4 hour level there. It's probably some sort of inside that candle, but here you can see that daily level being respected, moves up the move. Um, let's go to the 30-minute candle. Yeah, no, there's not really much I can work with, but ultimately, even though it's supporting this move here, I don't think this is gonna hold at all. I think it's gonna go straight here, to be honest. And that apex isn't until today. April. I mean, yeah, April 6th. So keep watch, guys. There's a very sudden spike here. Again, when you see these spikes, what do I say? Just sell, guys. There's really, there's almost 90% retracement. One green candle, you spike up 100 plus percent sell. Like it's just common sense. Um, yeah. So pretty straightforward here. So um, yeah, we'll move on to the next one. LCX. LCX USD. Nice. Coinbase. Looks like we charted this coin already. A little weekly. Oh my, yep. Man. This TA, guys, it does not fail. It does not fail. Oh man, clearly we made the TA back in this region here back in January. Um, and look at this, guys, weekly levels. What do I tell you? It hits this weekly here, the T, and next weekly range here, and now the next weekly range here. It's untested, so now you see this huge rejection here, guys. Sometimes all you need is just T on the weekly, guys. Sometimes that's all you need. Um, 800%. Shit. Man, what a nice trade. So let's just update our levels now. Let's update our levels. We can make this dotted now. So we're playing with the weekly range. Should this be? I think this should be a weekly uptrend, right? So let's make this purple now. We have more data to work with, so that's the weekly uptrend. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, weekly uptrend. Let's stick. I think that's why we did dailies only. Let's stick with dailies for now. Just want to do something much more local so you guys can see. All right. Weekly range here. That's the weekly sell range. Um, looks like you have this green candle before the downtrend. Could be holding, around further back, right? That's why I like to go start it from the left to the right, because so here, right, we're on the daily time frame, so start it from here, right? You see that rejection out there, and then now it becomes a valid because it holds the move. Now you can see a hard closing below. Um, yeah, now it's hard closing in the body of the candle. And there's that weekly range against this daily. So super close. I'll just end up deleting the daily. But yeah, ultimately we're gonna make here, there, and then from here to there. Okay, and that's where that point is. Okay. So weekly range against the daily uptrend. In this case, guys, you're gonna want to make sure it continues to hold this range because as you guys can see, price discovery. Oh no, it's not price discovery. Okay, there's more information here. But if that breaks out of this weekly range that was heavily rejected, it'll probably just end up flying even higher. So definitely be on the watch out for this if you're in it. Um, Make sure that daily uptrends are being respected. As you guys can see, they are running perfectly. But yeah, that's LCX. I mean, we charted it before, so QUBIC. QUBIC. I mean, you could do against here. No, I'm not gonna do QIVC. There's just nothing there. You see, I don't think. Yeah, it's not on TradingView. I don't think that's the one either. Liquidity is very low for this. Only 100,000. Okay, so this coin's actually pretty straightforward. Hopefully this is the one you're talking about, Ravi. Okay. Oh, oh, there's a lot more. There's a lot for this coin. Hold on a weekly. Okay. So, perfect example. So, I think we're just looking at what was the coin before LS? I forgot. But this is a good example of how when you're confirming but the bleeding has stopped, right? So you have this downtrend, right? It's all pointing down. Everything's pointing down, right? To the downtrend, right? On the downside, right? So let's make this white so you guys can see. So this is what I mean. So when you have a coin like this, is not what you want to see, right? This is not what you want to see if you're in a coin, right? Or looking at a coin. Um, if it's still within this downward like wedge looking like thing, again, you want to see it move sideways. You want to move it sideways outward because that's accumulation and pretty much just confirming that the bleeding has stopped. Here you can see the bleeding has not entirely stopped because I can see it's like a very, very slow downtrend to a point where it gets respected down there. I don't know what. Okay. Um, Here, and you wouldn't even bother moving this anymore. You're just using this uptrend, this downtrend, I mean, on the upside, as confirmation of it moving sideways into accumulation. Okay, so um, this coin looks like it just, pumped, but not, it just pumped out of that small, pretty much the whole retracement it had since March 27. Um, Screen candle before that uptrend. Okay, looks like that it was targeting for. And then you have this uptrend right there, acting as resistance in that range, and then that range. Um, okay. Sorry guys, just bear with me. Last green candle. Last green candle for this logo uptrend acts as an origin level there. Okay. That's the resistance run locally in this area. Then it acts as support in this range here. Um, yeah. I mean, ultimately, that pump was sort of whack. Honestly, I would expect like a trigger point like this to be way more volatile, only 100%. Um, which trigger points are very quick. There's like quick sudden spikes, but sometimes they're usually bigger. But as of right now, I mean, honestly, I don't. There's again these long wicks usually lead to a small distribution, even longer. So, yes, you're working within this 4-hour range, but I don't know. That interest here just doesn't really buy me into. Ooh, I'm interested in this coin. It's kind of just it's all right. Because on that spike, a lot of sell interest there. I think it's gonna be a slow die down. If this doesn't hold, right? If this 4 hour doesn't hold, but um, yeah, Mords, nice. Oh no, Mords, one Mords. Can't find Mords. Vanry, perfect. Okay, a lot of these coins are, pumping. I get it. Maybe these are coins you want to get in. Um, all right, marking the usual uptrends, guys. Okay, perfect. You guys can clearly see the beautifulness of this TA, right? You see the perfect uptrend breaks below it, sudden, not sudden, but very, a good size fall back down to this daily range here. So, um, we're gonna make this test it, and I didn't actually hit it very close, but I do end up think it's just gonna end up rolling on it soon enough into this as it approaches this apex. But beautiful, example of how these apexes pretty much predict the future. So yeah, we can actually delete this now. We'll just evolve it later if it moves further sideways. But yeah, this is going to be your support range on a local time frame, and then apexes and later this month. So really straight for this coin. Again, just like the coins that look exactly like this that we went over before, if these daily levels break, it's most likely going to fall to this daily uptrend. Just FYI, just right because again the interest, it just moved up almost 600%, guys, right? So you just have to consider um, the accumulation that happens after distribution, right? These sudden spikes always lead to much longer accumulation. FET, FET, USD. Let's do Coinbase. Okay, a lot of these coins moved up. Oh man, 1500% beautiful. It's in price discovery, guys. Very ballsy if you're gonna get in right now. Very ballsy. If you're looking to sell, I mean, shoot, let's see. Local, local, local. Moving sideways out of it. Okay, perfect. Um, oh, oh man, this is so nice. Look at that beautiful test. I swear, people with similar TAs. Beautiful. All right, range. That's the range. Again, if you want to do the wicks, you can. Um, Downtrend, last support, local, very local support, and then you can even mark your uptrends there. Okay, cool. All right, so let's not confuse it by let's deleting that. Okay, cool. So I'm probably gonna go on the 4 hour on this. But anyway, um, cool. So we have this very local daily uptrend that's supporting the move right now for 3 days so far. If that breaks, they have this much larger macro uptrend here to support the move. We have some daily resistance here. We have a daily origin level support where again you can kind of it's a support that you should be aware about because if it fails to hold this uptrend, these daily uptrends, um, this is kind of like I guess it's like sort of like a warning, like, oh man, it's testing this level. Shoot, like I probably should better get out and readjust my buys down here or something, because again, this support has been acting as supports since mid March. It's currently in price discovery, one. It's been tested numerous times, two. And do you really think this daily support, like, what are the chances? Yes, it could happen, but the whole point of trading is decreasing your risk as much as you can, right? You're here to make money, right? So, um, if Bitcoin just suddenly explodes up out of the price discovery, then of course it's going to happen. That's why we TA Bitcoin first. But considering where it's at right now, it just pumped 600%. Do you really think this interest will still be here to bring it up to price discovery? Not really. I think this ladder has to continue holding to move up. I mean, Bitcoin has to continue moving up, or people are just going to find the new area of interest, which is probably within these daily ranges here. Okay, so that's my opinion on FET. Oh man, Gala. I haven't seen Gala in so long. Where is it at right now? Nice. Okay. So yeah, sorry to sound like a broken record player, but again, when you see set coins like this on accumulation and they just suddenly spike up like this, I like to take quick profits out. I like to be in and out, right? That's just my style of trading. Anyway, we have a weekly origin level here. Resistance, right? Fails to break. Ends up hard closing above it. So it looks like it's probably most likely seeing a daily within this range based off those wicks. So let's delete this and see what else we're working with. Wow. Okay, so it was actually a long, long, steady downtrend. Now it's a uptrend. Let me make these purple too. These purple in here. And there. Okay, nothing to mark on the upside because it's most likely testing a daily range. Um, yeah, and you can see all this candle work, you know. Right, you have this red candle, last green candle before that uptrend. I mean, for the downtrend, that's an origin level. There's that wick there, and then everything here is just blah. This is probably where the weekly was down here. So if we set the chart, oh, actually, no, it wasn't. That weekly wasn't there, so looks like we're probably off a little bit. There's that swing low that acted as resistance. So that's the range, the selling range that it's in. Okay, so these are all tested one, which is a good sign. You want something that's untested, right? Actually, go back here. Yeah, left to right, guys. Don't remember to always go further to the left and to the right. Okay, let's see if that ends up hitting. Perfect, it does end up hitting. So that was a correct level on the daily. Let's move this from here there. So a nice breakout out of the apex there. Moves up. Not so much of a volatile move. Yeah, gonna make that there. Cool. Um, Tested. This is going to be, that bottom apex that's going to act as support in the future. Um, okay. Let's see. Downtrend, origin level, last red candle before this local uptrend, very local support there. I know I said I want to go on the 4 hour, but let's go on the 4 hour. Um, okay. Yeah, really no point here. The best, yeah, again, with coins that pumped up like this, you want to stick to the larger time frames and see where the apexes are at, because sometimes when you get into the smaller time frames, you get so locked into the smaller apexes that you forget, like, hey, there's a daily apex not until, mid-April. So we have to see if it can even make it there, right? So um, I would say wait for this to continue to enter an accumulation. This local daily level has been, I mean, support has been, tested. You have this next daily tested support. But pretty much, yeah, you just again, I would just wait out. It's an accumulation. If you're interested, it just pumped up, whatever percent. But if you really want to get back into Gala, it's an accumulation right now. You can have your buys ladder down here. But yeah, the apex is mid-April. Okay, Ravi, that was a big list. um, we'll move on to Flame USD. But Ravi, I appreciate the coins. Trust me, I really do. I'm not here to talk, you know, down or anything like this. This is exactly what I wanted. So thank you so much for that. Fire starter. Wow, 2 years and it pumps only 200%. I'd be so mad. um, yeah. Perfect. Perfect. So that candle was a starting point of. Okay, so that's setting itself up for. Right. Okay. Cool. And these should all be purple. Yeah, I mean, again, pretty self-explanatory why you're seeing these large wicks, right? The last time it hit it was back in 2022, so of course it's gonna reject that. Yeah, really no point in TA. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to wait. It's going back down to that daily here. It's gonna go back down to the weekly for sure. 2 year accumulation or so, and it couldn't even break above that weekly. It's yeah, most likely going back down to that weekly uptrend. I'll be honest. So I would just wait it out, to be honest, in my opinion. Or if you want the daily range there, uh, really no point of teeing it right now. Looks like it's losing the support right now. Uh, CRE USD. Hmm CRE USD. Let's do against. Whoa, it's probably definitely not it. Hold on. Maybe crypto? I hope this is the one. I mean, the weekly has some decent data. Uh, Lots of wicks. Okay, let's do the CRE. Um, Beautiful. Okay, perfect. 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 Nice. Okay. Nice amount of tests on this weekly resistance, guys. Um, you know, good to see that it's being tested. Um, you can see this resist. So you can see like the suppression that there was on this weekly level. The second it broke out, it just ignited it right next to the next weekly. Um, Nice one, 30%. So yeah, looks like this is being respected very nicely on the weekly. In my opinion, the next weekly support would be this range against this uptrend. So yeah, I personally just wait for that because the second it does bounce off of this, the chances of it breaking out of this weekly is pretty high in my opinion. Because again, the interest was here, right? Here multiple times. Do you think the interest is going to be there again when it's laddering from this point? No, it's most likely going to be up here or even higher. Okay, so yeah, pretty straightforward for CRE, guys. GAU. Guys, I think I'm going to actually just, um, what's it called again? Put the timestamps for the person who asked the coin, because each one, oh man, it takes some time. Oh, nice. Beautiful. Looks like we TA'd this coin already, so probably we did TA over here, so loses the uptrend. You can see breaks down below and loses the support here. Looks like it should have been the wick, the body, whatever, body wick. So we can delete that now. It loses uptrend, right? There's that last green candle that bounces perfectly off the uptrend, and then you can see from that point acts as resistance, and then kind of just struggles from that point on. But that's why we evolve it, and now you can see it's being respected. Um, Here, there, predicts that it breakout, local breakout there. Nice. So really not much to adjust besides beautiful, man. I'm loving this. Coin on the 4 hour gamer arena. What a perfect apex is right here. Uptrend is holding it very nicely. Apex is happening in literally the next day or so. Multiple tests on the resistance here, so the interest in this you know is not as well, shouldn't be as high, especially coming out of apex. That should ignite it, move and move it a little bit higher. But let's just discover, where will those highs be. um, yeah, these are the resistance areas, the resistance zones right there for you. Cool, man. That was a lot of coins today. I hope you guys are enjoying this because I am. Um, it's just crazy to see how these coins are really pumping thousands and thousands of percent. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are pointing these out. So yeah, that's it, guys. Again, if you're posting these coins, I hope you're following the TA or replicating the TA as well. But yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll just, make sure I get back to you as soon as I can. So, guys, I will see you on the next one. Good night, everyone. Bye.